Hello, and welcome to this calming journey inspired by the timeless wisdom of Buddhism. Today we're diving deep into a topic that has the power to transform your relationship with life itself: acceptance. This video is brought to you by the Mindful Zone, where we explore tools and practices to help you live with greater awareness, peace, and joy. Whether you're new to mindfulness, meditation, and Buddhist philosophy, or someone who's been practicing for years, this session is designed to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Let's take a moment to pause and reflect. How often do we find ourselves resisting life as it unfolds? We push against challenges, cling to fleeting pleasures, and spend so much energy wishing things were different. But what if I told you there's another way, a path of acceptance, presence, and inner freedom? That's exactly what these teachings offer. They guide us toward embracing life as it is, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. In the next 2 hours, we'll explore 10 profound Buddhist teachings that can help you navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. These teachings aren't just abstract concepts, they're practical tools you can apply in your daily life to reduce stress, cultivate well-being, and deepen your connection to yourself and others. So, whether you're here seeking relief from overwhelm, looking to build a stronger foundation for mindfulness, or simply curious about how ancient wisdom can support modern living, you've come to the right place. Think of this video as a gentle companion on your journey, a space where you can slow down, breathe deeply, and reconnect with what truly matters. Before we dive into the first teaching, let me invite you to settle into this moment. Find a comfortable position, whether you're sitting upright, lying down, or even standing, and allow yourself to arrive fully here. Take a deep breath with me. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold it for a moment, and exhale gently through your mouth. Feel yourself grounding into this space, ready to receive these insights with an open heart. As we move forward, remember that this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each teaching builds on the last, creating a tapestry of understanding that will guide you toward greater clarity and peace. If at any point you feel called to pause, reflect, or journal, please do so. This is your time, and you are invited to engage with this content in whatever way feels most supportive for you. Now, let's begin our exploration together. Over the next few chapters, we'll uncover timeless truths about impermanence, letting go, compassion, and more. These teachings have the potential to shift not only how you see the world, but also how you experience it. So without further ado, let's turn our attention to the first teaching, embracing impermanence. Chapter 1. Impermanence, embrace change. The first teaching we'll explore is perhaps one of the most fundamental truths of existence: impermanence. In Buddhism, impermanence, or anicca, is considered one of the 3 marks of existence, alongside suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. At its core, impermanence reminds us that everything changes. Nothing remains static, not our thoughts, emotions, relationships, careers, health, or even the seasons themselves. This truth might seem unsettling at first glance, because change often brings uncertainty, discomfort, and loss. Yet when we truly understand impermanence, we begin to see its beauty. It teaches us not to cling too tightly to anything, whether it's success, possessions, or pain, because nothing lasts forever. Just as storms pass, so do moments of difficulty. And just as flowers bloom, so do opportunities for growth and renewal. To illustrate this point, think about something simple yet profound: the changing seasons. Spring bursts forth with vibrant blooms, summer radiates warmth and abundance, autumn paints the world in hues of gold and crimson, and winter invites rest and introspection. Each season flows seamlessly into the next, creating a continuous cycle of transformation. Without impermanence, there would be no blossoms in spring, no harvests in autumn, and no fresh starts in the new year. The rhythm of nature itself is a testament to the ever-changing flow of life, reminding us that endings are always followed by beginnings. But impermanence doesn't just exist in grand cycles, it's woven into every single moment of our lives. Consider your own experience right now. As you listen to this narration, notice how your thoughts arise and dissolve. Notice how your breath moves in and out, never staying the same for more than an instant. Even your physical sensations, perhaps the feeling of your clothes against your skin or the weight of your body in your chair, are constantly shifting. Life is happening right now, and every moment is unique, fleeting, and irreplaceable. This awareness of impermanence can profoundly impact how we relate to both joy and sorrow. When we recognize that happiness is temporary, we learn to savor it fully while it lasts, rather than clinging to it desperately. Similarly, when we acknowledge that pain is also transient, we develop the courage to face it head-on, knowing it won't define us forever. Instead of resisting difficult emotions or trying to escape them, we can meet them with curiosity and compassion, trusting that they too will eventually pass. This understanding allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and equanimity. One powerful way to work with impermanence is through mindfulness practice. By bringing your attention to the present moment, you begin to witness the ever-changing nature of reality firsthand. For example, try focusing on your breath for a few minutes. Notice how each inhalation gives way to an exhalation, how the quality of your breathing shifts subtly over time. Or pay attention to sounds around you, the hum of traffic outside, the rustle of leaves in the wind, the distant chirping of birds. All of these experiences are impermanent, arising and fading away naturally. Mindfulness helps us tune into this constant flux, grounding us in the here and now and fostering a deeper appreciation for the present moment. Another way to embrace impermanence is through gratitude. When we accept that everything is temporary, we become more attuned to the preciousness of each moment. A sunset, a kind word from a friend, the taste of your favorite meal. All of these small wonders take on deeper significance when viewed through the lens of impermanence. Rather than taking them for granted, we cherish them fully, recognizing their fleeting nature. Gratitude becomes a natural response to the impermanent beauty of life, helping us cultivate contentment and joy even amidst uncertainty. Of course, accepting impermanence isn't always easy. Human beings are wired to seek stability and control, which makes change inherently uncomfortable. We resist endings, fear loss, and struggle to let go of what we love. But the truth is, resistance only amplifies our suffering. When we fight against impermanence, we create unnecessary tension and anxiety. Conversely, when we align ourselves with the natural flow of life, we find a sense of peace and ease. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means acknowledging the reality of change and learning to flow with it rather than fighting against it. To integrate this teaching into your daily life, I encourage you to start noticing instances of impermanence throughout your day. Perhaps you wake up to sunlight streaming through your window, only to watch it fade as evening approaches. Maybe you observe the ebb and flow of conversations with loved ones, or the way your moods shift from hour to hour. Each of these observations serves as a reminder that life is dynamic, fluid, and endlessly fascinating. You might also reflect on larger cycles of change in your life, such as transitions in relationships, career paths, or personal growth. Every ending carries the seed of a new beginning, and every beginning holds the potential for transformation. Finally, consider this. Impermanence is not something to be feared, it's something to celebrate. It's what makes life vibrant, unpredictable, and full of possibility. Without change, there would be no evolution, no creativity, no growth. So the next time you encounter a challenge or a moment of transition, remind yourself that this too shall pass. And in doing so, you open yourself to the infinite potential of the present moment. Trust in the wisdom of impermanence and allow it to guide you toward greater freedom, peace and acceptance. As we conclude this exploration of impermanence, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. How might embracing impermanence help you navigate challenges or appreciate joys more deeply? Remember, life is a river constantly flowing and transforming. By learning to surrender to its currents, we discover a profound sense of peace and connection to the natural rhythm of existence. Chapter 2. Letting Go. Release what no longer serves you. Our second teaching invites us to explore the transformative power of letting go. In many ways, letting go is the natural extension of understanding impermanence. If everything in life is constantly changing, then clinging to people, situations, or outcomes only creates unnecessary suffering. Yet, despite this truth, letting go remains one of the most challenging practices for many of us. Why? Because we're conditioned to hold on, to seek security, control, and permanence in a world that offers none of those things. But when we learn to let go, we free ourselves from the burdens of attachment and open up space for peace, clarity, and growth. Let's start by defining what we mean by letting go. It doesn't necessarily mean giving something up entirely, rather it's about releasing our tight grip on how we think things should be. This could apply to material possessions, relationships, expectations, beliefs, or even emotions like anger, regret, or fear. Think of it as setting down a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents something you've been carrying, perhaps an old grudge, a past mistake, or a need for approval. When you set the backpack down, you immediately feel lighter, freer, and more at ease. That's the essence of letting go, creating space within yourself to breathe, to heal, and to move forward. One of the most common areas where letting go becomes necessary is in our relationships with others. Have you ever found yourself replaying a conversation in your mind, wishing you'd said something differently, or holding on to resentment towards someone who hurt you long ago? These patterns of rumination and bitterness weigh heavily on our hearts and minds. They keep us tethered to the past, preventing us from fully engaging with the present moment. By choosing to forgive, not necessarily for the other person's sake, but for your own, you release the emotional charge associated with those memories. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of carrying that pain any longer. Similarly, we often cling to ideas about how our lives should unfold. Maybe you had a clear vision of where you'd be by now, career milestones, relationship goals, financial achievements, but reality hasn't aligned with those plans. The gap between expectation and reality can breed frustration, disappointment, and even despair. Letting go in this context means releasing your attachment to specific outcomes and instead embracing the unfolding journey. Life rarely follows a straight path, and some of its greatest blessings come from unexpected detours. When you let go of rigid expectations, you allow room for creativity, spontaneity, and serendipity to enter your life. Another important aspect of letting go is learning to release negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. Many of us carry internal narratives that undermine our confidence and self-worth. Phrases like, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," or "I don't deserve happiness," become ingrained over time, shaping how we perceive ourselves and interact with the world. These stories are not facts, they're constructs created by our minds, often rooted in past experiences or societal conditioning. By becoming aware of these thought patterns and consciously choosing to let them go, you reclaim your power to define your own narrative. Replace self-criticism with self-compassion, doubt with curiosity, and fear with courage. Physical clutter can also serve as a metaphor for emotional baggage. If your home or workspace feels chaotic and overwhelming, it may reflect inner turmoil or unresolved issues. Decluttering, whether it's organizing your closet, clearing out old files, or simplifying your digital devices, can have a profound impact on your mental state. As you sort through belongings, ask yourself, does this item bring me joy or serve a purpose? If the answer is no, consider letting it go. This process isn't just about tidying up. It's about making intentional choices that align with your values and priorities. Meditation is another powerful tool for cultivating the art of letting go. During meditation, you might notice thoughts, emotions, or sensations arising and passing away. Instead of trying to control or suppress them, simply observe them without judgment. Imagine each thought as a leaf floating down a river. It comes into view, stays for a moment, and then drifts out of sight. This practice helps train your mind to accept what is, rather than resisting or clinging to it. Over time, you'll find it easier to let go of unhelpful thoughts and emotions in daily life as well. Letting go also applies to our relationship with time. So often we live either in the past, dwelling on regrets or nostalgia, or in the future, worrying about what might happen next. Both tendencies pull us away from the present moment, which is the only place where true peace and fulfillment reside. To let go of this habit, try grounding yourself in sensory experiences. Notice the feeling of your feet touching the floor, the taste of your morning coffee, or the sound of birdsong outside your window. These small acts of presence anchor you in the here and now, reminding you that life unfolds one moment at a time. It's worth noting that letting go doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or neglecting important commitments. Rather, it's about finding balance, knowing when to hold on and when to release. For example, if you're working toward a meaningful goal, persistence and dedication are essential. However, if that goal begins to feel forced or misaligned with your values, it may be time to reassess and adjust course. Similarly, in relationships, letting go doesn't mean walking away from challenges. It means approaching them with openness and flexibility rather than rigid expectations. As you deepen your practice of letting go, you may encounter resistance. It's natural to feel fear or uncertainty when releasing something familiar, even if it no longer serves you. Change can be uncomfortable, but it's also an opportunity for growth. Trust that every act of letting go creates space for something new to emerge, something that aligns more closely with your authentic self. Remember too, that letting go is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. There will always be moments when you need to release attachments, whether big or small, in order to continue evolving. To integrate this teaching into your daily life, I invite you to identify one area where you're holding on too tightly. Perhaps it's a project you've been procrastinating on because you want it to be perfect, a friendship that's become strained due to unspoken grievances, or a habit that no longer supports your well-being. Whatever it is, take a step back and ask yourself, what am I gaining by holding on to this? What might I gain by letting it go? Then, make a conscious decision to release it, not abruptly or impulsively, but gently and with intention. Finally, remember that letting go is an act of self-love. Every time you choose to release what no longer serves you, you affirm your worthiness of peace, joy, and freedom. Life is far too precious to spend it weighed down by unnecessary burdens. By practicing the art of letting go, you create space for beauty, connection, and possibility to flow into your life. As you move forward, carry this teaching with you. True liberation lies not in controlling life, but in surrendering to its natural rhythm. Chapter 3, Non-Judgment, See Things as They Are. Our third teaching invites us to explore the profound practice of non-judgment, a cornerstone of mindfulness and Buddhist wisdom. At its heart, non-judgment is about seeing things as they truly are, without labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong. This simple yet transformative approach allows us to step out of the cycle of reactivity and into a state of clarity, acceptance, and peace. By cultivating non-judgment, we create space to experience life more fully, free from the distortions of our conditioned minds. To understand why non-judgment is so powerful, let's first examine how judgment shapes our daily lives. From the moment we wake up, our minds are constantly evaluating everything around us, and often ourselves. We judge our appearance in the mirror, the tone of someone's voice during a conversation, the weather outside, or even mundane details like the taste of our breakfast. These judgments happen so automatically that we rarely notice them, yet they have a profound impact on how we perceive and interact with the world. They color our experiences, reinforce biases, and can lead to unnecessary suffering when we cling to rigid ideas of how things should be. Judgments aren't inherently bad, they're part of being human. Our ability to assess situations quickly has helped us survive and thrive as a species. However, when left unchecked, judgment becomes a barrier to presence and connection. It creates separation, not just between ourselves and others, but also within ourselves. For example, think about how you might react to feeling anxious or sad. Instead of simply acknowledging these emotions, you might judge yourself for having them, calling yourself weak or flawed. This layer of judgment adds extra weight to an already challenging experience, making it harder to process and move through. Non-judgment asks us to pause and observe without immediately categorizing. Imagine sitting quietly in nature, watching leaves fall from a tree. If you approach this moment with judgment, you might label the scene as beautiful or boring, depending on your mood or expectations. But if you set aside those labels, you open yourself to a richer, more nuanced experience. You notice the intricate patterns of the leaves, the gentle sway of branches, the interplay of light and shadow. In doing so, you connect more deeply with the present moment, unfiltered by preconceived notions. This same principle applies to our inner worlds. When thoughts, feelings, or sensations arise, non-judgment encourages us to meet them with curiosity rather than criticism. Suppose you're feeling frustrated because traffic is moving slowly. Your initial reaction might be to judge the situation as terrible or unfair. With non-judgment, however, you simply acknowledge the frustration without attaching additional meaning to it. You recognize it as a passing emotion, one among many, that doesn't define your entire experience. This shift in perspective reduces the intensity of the emotion and helps you respond with greater calm and patience. Practicing non-judgment requires awareness and intentionality. One effective way to cultivate this skill is through mindfulness meditation. During meditation, you'll inevitably encounter distractions, thoughts wandering, physical discomfort, restlessness. Instead of judging these interruptions as failures or annoyances, view them as opportunities to deepen your practice. Each time you notice your attention drifting and gently bring it back to your breath, you're reinforcing the habit of observing without judgment. Over time, this practice extends beyond formal meditation and into everyday life, helping you navigate challenges with greater equanimity. Another practical application of non-judgment is in our relationships with others. How often do we form opinions about people based on limited information? Maybe someone cuts you off in traffic and you immediately label them as rude or reckless. Or perhaps a coworker makes a mistake and you assume they're incompetent. These snap judgments create barriers to understanding and empathy. When we practice non-judgment, we give others the benefit of the doubt, recognizing that everyone is navigating their own struggles and circumstances. This openness fosters compassion and strengthens connections, both personally and professionally. Of course, adopting a non-judgmental mindset doesn't mean ignoring harmful behaviors or excusing injustice. It's important to distinguish between discernment and judgment. Discernment involves evaluating situations wisely and taking appropriate action when needed, while judgment imposes moral labels that often lack nuance. For instance, if someone consistently treats you poorly, it's reasonable to set boundaries to protect your well-being. The key difference lies in approaching the situation with clarity rather than condemnation, focusing on what needs to change without dehumanizing the other person. Non-judgment also plays a crucial role in self-acceptance. Many of us carry internal narratives filled with harsh self-criticism. We judge our bodies, our abilities, our choices, and our worthiness. These judgments can erode confidence and perpetuate cycles of shame and self-doubt. By practicing non-judgment, we begin to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Instead of berating ourselves for perceived shortcomings, we offer compassion and encouragement, just as we would to a dear friend. This shift not only improves mental health, but also empowers us to take constructive steps toward growth and healing. Incorporating non-judgment into daily life starts with small, consistent efforts. Throughout your day, pay attention to moments when judgment arises. Perhaps you find yourself criticizing a colleague's presentation, dismissing a new idea because it seems unconventional, or comparing your progress to someone else's achievements. When you catch yourself in these patterns, pause and ask, what story am I telling myself right now? Is there another way to look at this situation? Simply becoming aware of your judgments is a significant step forward. Over time, you'll find it easier to let go of them and embrace a more open-minded perspective. Nature offers countless lessons in non-judgment. Consider the ocean. It doesn't judge the waves that crash against its surface, nor does it resist storms or calm periods. It simply flows with whatever arises, embodying perfect acceptance. Similarly, clouds drift across the sky without questioning their shape or purpose. They exist exactly as they are, contributing to the beauty and balance of the ecosystem. Observing these natural phenomena reminds us that life unfolds effortlessly when we release the need to control or to categorize it. One powerful exercise to deepen your practice of non-judgment is journaling. Set aside a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts and feelings without editing or censoring them. As you read back through your entries, notice any patterns of judgment that emerge. Are you overly critical of certain aspects of your life? Do you tend to idealize some experiences while dismissing others? Use this awareness as a starting point for transformation. Challenge yourself to reframe negative judgments with neutral language. For example, instead of writing, "I'm terrible at public speaking," try, "Public speaking feels challenging for me right now, and that's okay." Finally, remember that non-judgment is a lifelong journey, not a destination. Even the most seasoned practitioners occasionally fall into old habits of judgment. It's part of being human. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. Every time you choose to see things as they are, without adding layers of interpretation, you strengthen your capacity for presence and acceptance. This shift benefits not only you, but also those around you, creating ripples of positivity and understanding in your interactions. As we conclude this exploration of non-judgment, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. Where do you notice judgment creeping in, whether toward yourself, others, or external circumstances? How might adopting a non-judgmental stance help you navigate challenges with greater ease and grace? Remember, life is infinitely complex, and trying to impose rigid categories onto it only limits your ability to experience its full richness. By embracing non-judgment, you open yourself to a deeper, more authentic way of living, one rooted in curiosity, compassion, and connection. Chapter 4: Compassion. Extend kindness to yourself and others. Our fourth teaching invites us to explore the transformative power of compassion, a quality that lies at the very heart of Buddhism and mindfulness practices. Compassion is more than just feeling sympathy for someone else's pain. It's an active, heartfelt desire to alleviate suffering, both in ourselves and in others. It's a practice that connects us deeply to our shared humanity and reminds us that we are all navigating the same fundamental challenges: love, loss, joy, and sorrow. By cultivating compassion, we not only enrich the lives of those around us, but also nurture our own well-being and inner peace. To truly understand compassion, let's begin by distinguishing it from related concepts like empathy and pity. Empathy involves feeling what another person is experiencing, a valuable skill that helps us connect emotionally, but it stops short of taking action. Pity, on the other hand, often carries a sense of superiority or distance, where we view someone's suffering as something separate from ourselves. Compassion bridges this gap. It combines the emotional resonance of empathy with a commitment to kindness and support. When we act compassionately, we don't just acknowledge pain, we respond to it with care, understanding, and a willingness to help. Compassion begins with self-kindness. Many of us struggle to extend compassion inwardly. We're quick to judge ourselves harshly for mistakes, perceived failures, or moments of weakness. Yet true compassion starts within. If you wouldn't speak to a friend the way you sometimes speak to yourself, why treat yourself so unkindly? Practicing self-compassion means treating yourself with the same warmth and understanding you'd offer to someone you love dearly. For example, if you make a mistake at work, instead of berating yourself, try saying, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. I'll learn from this and do better next time." This shift in language transforms your relationship with yourself, fostering resilience and self-acceptance. One powerful tool for developing self-compassion is the practice of loving-kindness meditation, or metta-meditation in Buddhist tradition. In this practice, you silently repeat phrases of goodwill and kindness, first directing them toward yourself and then extending them outward to others. Common phrases include, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I live with ease." As you repeat these words, imagine them sinking deeply into your heart, filling you with warmth and love. Once you've cultivated this sense of kindness toward yourself, expand it to include loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even those with whom you may have conflicts. Over time, this practice softens your heart, dissolves barriers, and strengthens your capacity for compassion in daily life. Extending compassion to others requires both intention and awareness. It begins with recognizing that everyone, no matter how different they may seem, is dealing with struggles you might not see. The driver who cuts you off in traffic may be rushing to the hospital. The co-worker who seems distant might be grappling with personal challenges. When we approach others with curiosity rather than assumption, we create space for connection and understanding. Instead of reacting defensively or critically, ask yourself, what might this person be going through right now? How can I respond with kindness rather than judgment? Acts of compassion don't need to be grand gestures to make a difference. Sometimes the smallest actions carry the most profound impact. A smile offered to a stranger, a listening ear provided to a friend, or a meal shared with someone in need. All of these simple acts ripple outward, creating waves of positivity. They remind us that no act of kindness is too small to matter. And while external acts of compassion are important, so too is the energy behind them. Genuine compassion arises naturally when we open our hearts without expecting anything in return. It's about giving freely without attachment to outcomes or recognition. Compassion also has tangible benefits for our mental and physical health. Research shows that practicing compassion reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, boosts immune function, and increases feelings of happiness and fulfillment. Why? Because compassion shifts our focus away from ourselves and onto something larger than our individual concerns. It reminds us that we're part of an interconnected web of life, where every action we take affects the whole. This perspective fosters a sense of purpose and meaning, helping us navigate life's challenges with greater grace and resilience. Yet compassion isn't always easy. There are times when extending kindness feels difficult, perhaps because we're overwhelmed by our own struggles, or because someone's behavior triggers anger or frustration. In such moments, it's helpful to remember that compassion doesn't mean condoning harmful actions or ignoring boundaries. It simply means acknowledging the humanity in everyone, including those who hurt us. This doesn't excuse wrongdoing, but allows us to respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. Setting healthy boundaries while maintaining compassion is a delicate balance, but one that ultimately leads to healthier relationships and greater peace of mind. Another key aspect of compassion is its ability to heal divisions, not just between individuals, but also within communities and societies. In a world often marked by polarization and conflict, compassion serves as a bridge. It invites us to step outside our echo chambers, listen to perspectives different from our own, and find common ground. Whether it's reaching out to someone with opposing views, volunteering for a cause you believe in, or simply being present for a neighbor in need, compassionate actions foster unity and mutual respect. Practicing compassion also helps us confront difficult emotions like grief, anger, or fear. When we encounter these feelings in ourselves or others, it's tempting to push them away or suppress them. But compassion teaches us to hold space for them instead, Imagine sitting with a friend who's crying, not trying to fix their pain, but simply being there, offering a steady presence. You can apply this same principle to your own emotions. When sadness or frustration arises, greet it with gentleness. Say to yourself, "This is hard and it's okay to feel this way." By doing so, you transform discomfort into an opportunity for growth and healing. Incorporating compassion into daily life starts with small, intentional steps. Throughout your day, look for opportunities to extend kindness to yourself and to others. Perhaps it's pausing to appreciate your efforts after completing a challenging task, sending a thoughtful message to a friend, or holding the door open for someone behind you. Each of these moments contributes to a culture of compassion, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond the initial act. Nature offers beautiful examples of compassion in action. Consider how bees pollinate flowers, ensuring the survival of plants and ecosystems. Or think about the way trees in a forest communicate through underground networks, sharing nutrients and supporting one another's growth. These natural systems thrive on cooperation and care, reminding us that compassion is not just a human virtue, it's a universal principle that sustains life itself. One practical exercise to deepen your practice of compassion is writing gratitude letters. Choose someone who has positively impacted your life, whether recently or long ago, and write them a letter expressing your appreciation. Be specific about what they did and how it affected you. You don't even have to send the letter if you prefer. The act of writing it alone cultivates gratitude and compassion. Alternatively, keep a daily journal where you list 3 things you're grateful for and reflect on how they connect you to others or to the broader world. Finally, remember that compassion is a muscle that grows stronger with use. Like any skill, it takes practice to develop. Some days will feel easier than others, and that's perfectly normal. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. Every time you choose kindness over criticism, connection over separation, or understanding over judgment, you strengthen your capacity for compassion. And as you continue along this path, you'll discover that compassion isn't just something you give, it's something you receive in return, multiplying endlessly in a cycle of goodwill and love. As we conclude this exploration of compassion, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. Where do you notice opportunities to extend kindness? To yourself, to others, or to the world around you? How might embracing compassion help you navigate challenges with greater patience and grace? Remember, compassion is a gift that keeps giving. By opening your heart to it, you not only enrich your own life, but also contribute to a kinder, more connected world. Chapter 5. Mindfulness. Be present in every moment. Our 5th teaching invites us to delve deeply into the practice of mindfulness, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy and a powerful tool for living fully in the present moment. Mindfulness is often described as paying attention on purpose in the here and now without judgment. It's about cultivating awareness of what's happening within and around us, moment by moment, with clarity and openness. While it may sound simple, mindfulness has the potential to transform how we experience life, reducing stress, enhancing well-being, and fostering a profound sense of connection to ourselves and the world. At its essence, mindfulness asks us to step out of autopilot, the habitual mode of functioning where we move through life distracted, disconnected, and often lost in thought. Think about how much of your day is spent ruminating about the past or worrying about the future. Perhaps you're replaying an argument from yesterday, planning tomorrow's tasks, or scrolling aimlessly through social media. These mental patterns pull us away from the richness of the present moment, leaving us feeling fragmented and unfulfilled. By contrast, mindfulness anchors us in the here and now, allowing us to engage more fully with whatever arises. The benefits of mindfulness are vast and well documented. Scientific research shows that regular mindfulness practice can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, improve focus and cognitive function, lower blood pressure, and even strengthen the immune system. But beyond these measurable effects, mindfulness offers something deeper, a way of being that aligns us with the natural flow of life. Instead of resisting or clinging to experiences, we learn to meet them with acceptance and curiosity, creating space for peace and insight to emerge. One of the most accessible ways to begin practicing mindfulness is through breath awareness. The breath serves as a constant anchor, always available to bring us back to the present moment. Try this now. Take a few deep breaths, noticing the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. Feel the rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. Don't try to change your breathing, simply observe it as it is. If your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, gently guide your attention back to the breath without judgment. This simple act of returning trains your mind to stay present, building resilience over time. Mindfulness isn't limited to formal meditation sessions. It can be integrated into every aspect of daily life. Whether you're eating, walking, working, or interacting with others, mindfulness invites you to bring full attention to the task at hand. For example, when eating a meal, notice the colors, textures, and flavors of your food. Chew slowly, savoring each bite. Pay attention to how your body feels before, during, and after the meal. Similarly, when walking, feel the contact of your feet with the ground, the rhythm of your steps, and the movement of your arms. These small acts of presence enrich ordinary moments, revealing their inherent beauty and significance. Another key element of mindfulness is learning to observe thoughts and emotions without identifying with them. Often we mistake our thoughts for reality, believing every story our mind tells us. For instance, if you think, "I'm not good enough," you might assume it's true and let it dictate your actions. Mindfulness teaches us to recognize thoughts for what they are, fleeting mental events that come and go like clouds across the sky. When you notice a thought arising, instead of getting caught up in it, label it gently, thinking, and return your focus to the present moment. This practice helps create distance between you and your thoughts, giving you greater freedom to choose how to respond. Emotions, too, can be observed mindfully. Rather than suppressing or exaggerating feelings, mindfulness encourages us to acknowledge them with kindness and curiosity. Suppose you're feeling frustrated while stuck in traffic. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and notice the physical sensations associated with frustration, perhaps tightness in your chest or heat rising in your face. Name the emotion silently to yourself. This is frustration. Then breathe into it, allowing it to exist without resistance. Over time, this approach transforms how you relate to difficult emotions, helping you navigate them with greater ease and wisdom. Practicing mindfulness also enhances our relationships with others. When we're fully present during conversations, we listen more deeply and respond more thoughtfully. We notice subtle cues, tone of voice, facial expressions, body language that might otherwise go unnoticed. This heightened awareness fosters empathy and understanding, strengthening bonds and resolving conflicts more effectively. Additionally, mindfulness helps us manage reactivity. Instead of snapping at someone in anger or withdrawing in fear, we pause and consider our response before acting. This pause creates space for compassion and connection to flourish. Incorporating mindfulness into daily routines requires intentionality, but doesn't have to be complicated. Start by setting aside short periods each day for mindful activities. Perhaps you dedicate 5 minutes to focusing on your breath first thing in the morning, or spend a few moments sipping tea quietly before starting your workday. Gradually expand these practices to include other areas of your life, such as mindful driving, cooking, or even cleaning. Each activity becomes an opportunity to hone your awareness and deepen your appreciation for the present moment. Nature provides endless opportunities for mindfulness practice. Spending time outdoors, whether in a park, forest, or garden, invites us to connect with the sights, sounds, and smells of the natural world. Notice the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, or the warmth of sunlight on your skin. Allow yourself to merge with the environment, letting go of distractions and immersing yourself in the sensory experience. Nature has a way of grounding us, reminding us of the simplicity and wonder of existence. For those seeking structured guidance, there are many resources available to support mindfulness practice. Apps, guided meditations, books and courses offer tools tailored to different preferences and levels of experience. One popular framework is the body scan meditation, which involves systematically bringing attention to each part of your body from head to toe. This practice promotes relaxation, releases tension, and cultivates a deeper connection to your physical self. Another technique is mindful journaling, where you write freely about your thoughts and feelings without editing or censoring. Both methods encourage introspection and self-awareness, complementing broader mindfulness efforts. Despite its many rewards, mindfulness isn't always easy. Distractions abound, and maintaining focus can feel challenging, especially when starting out. Some days, sitting still for even a few minutes may seem impossible. On those occasions, remember that mindfulness isn't about achieving perfection. It's about showing up consistently, no matter how imperfectly. Progress comes through patience and persistence. Celebrate small victories along the way, whether it's noticing a moment of calm during a hectic day or catching yourself before reacting impulsively. Mindfulness also intersects beautifully with other teachings we've explored so far. For example, combining mindfulness with non-judgment allows us to witness our experiences with greater objectivity and compassion. Pairing mindfulness with impermanence reminds us that all sensations, thoughts, and emotions are temporary, easing our attachment to them. And integrating mindfulness with compassion enables us to extend kindness both inwardly and outwardly, creating a harmonious balance between self-care and service to others. As you continue to develop your mindfulness practice, consider exploring its spiritual dimensions. In Buddhism, mindfulness is closely tied to insight, vipassana meditation, which aims to uncover the true nature of reality. Through sustained observation, practitioners gain direct understanding of impermanence, suffering, and non-self, the three marks of existence. While this level of inquiry may not appeal to everyone, it highlights the depth and versatility of mindfulness as a path to awakening. Finally, reflect on how mindfulness shapes your perception of time. So often we feel rushed, overwhelmed, or dissatisfied because we're disconnected from the present moment. We rush through tasks, wishing we were somewhere else or doing something different. Mindfulness reverses this pattern, teaching us to slow down and savor each instant. Life unfolds one breath, one heartbeat, one moment at a time. By embracing this truth, we reclaim our power to live consciously and authentically, free from the tyranny of past regrets and future anxieties. As we conclude this exploration of mindfulness, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. Where do you notice opportunities to bring greater awareness to your daily activities? How might practicing mindfulness help you cultivate peace, clarity, and joy amidst life's challenges? Remember, mindfulness isn't a destination. It's a lifelong journey of discovery and growth. By committing to this practice, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities of the present moment. Chapter 6. Gratitude. Find joy in the simple things. Our sixth teaching invites us to explore the profound practice of gratitude, a simple yet transformative way to shift our perspective and uncover joy in the ordinary moments of life. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a conscious choice to recognize and appreciate the blessings, big and small, that surround us every day. When we cultivate gratitude, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of connection, contentment, and fulfillment. In a world that often emphasizes what's lacking, gratitude reminds us of the abundance already present in our lives. At its core, gratitude is an antidote to dissatisfaction and negativity. It's easy to fall into the trap of focusing on what we don't have, whether it's a better job, more money, or a different set of circumstances. This mindset creates a perpetual cycle of wanting and dissatisfaction, leaving us feeling perpetually unfulfilled. Gratitude disrupts this pattern by redirecting our attention to what we do have. It encourages us to see the goodness in our lives, even amidst challenges, fostering resilience and optimism. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to reframe difficulties. While it might seem counterintuitive to feel grateful during tough times, doing so can actually help us navigate adversity with greater grace. For example, imagine facing a health challenge. Instead of dwelling solely on the pain or frustration, you might find gratitude for the care you're receiving, the strength you're discovering within yourself, or the support of loved ones. By acknowledging these silver linings, you create space for hope and healing, even in the midst of hardship. Gratitude also has tangible benefits for mental and physical well-being. Studies show that practicing gratitude reduces stress, improves sleep quality, boosts mood, and strengthens relationships. Why? Because gratitude shifts our focus away from scarcity and fear toward abundance and possibility. It activates the brain's reward centers, releasing feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. Over time, this rewires our neural pathways, making it easier to notice and appreciate positive experiences. In essence, gratitude trains our minds to seek out the good, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of positivity. Cultivating gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or extraordinary events. Often the most meaningful expressions of gratitude arise from noticing the seemingly insignificant details of daily life. A warm cup of coffee on a chilly morning, the sound of rain tapping against your window, or the kindness of a stranger holding the door open. All of these moments carry the potential for gratitude if we take the time to acknowledge them. The key is to slow down and pay attention. In our fast-paced, distraction-filled lives, it's easy to overlook these small wonders. But when we pause and truly see them, they become sources of immense joy and inspiration. One practical way to deepen your practice of gratitude is through journaling. Set aside a few minutes each day to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as simple as the sunshine today, or as significant as my best friend's unwavering support. Be specific and descriptive. Instead of writing, "I'm grateful for my family," try, "I'm grateful for the laughter I shared with my sister over dinner." This exercise not only helps you notice the positives in your life, but also reinforces them, making them more prominent in your awareness. Over time, you'll begin to view the world through a lens of gratitude, finding beauty and meaning in places you might have previously overlooked. Another powerful tool for cultivating gratitude is reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to review your experiences and identify moments of grace or goodness. Perhaps a colleague offered helpful feedback, a child smiled at you unexpectedly, or you completed a task you'd been procrastinating on. Reflecting on these instances allows you to savor them fully, embedding them in your memory and amplifying their impact. You can also use this practice to reflect on longer periods, such as weeks, months, or even years, recognizing patterns of growth, support, and achievement. Gratitude extends beyond personal benefit. It has the power to strengthen relationships and foster community. Expressing appreciation to others not only makes them feel valued, but also deepens your connection with them. Whether it's thanking a partner for their efforts, acknowledging a co-worker's contribution, or sending a heartfelt note to a mentor, acts of gratitude ripple outward, creating a culture of kindness and reciprocity. Even small gestures, like smiling warmly or offering a sincere compliment, can brighten someone's day and remind them of their worth. Nature offers endless opportunities for gratitude, reminding us of the interconnectedness of all life. Consider the intricate web of ecosystems that sustain us, the plants that produce oxygen, the bees that pollinate flowers, the rivers that provide water. Each element plays a vital role in maintaining balance and harmony. When we step outside and immerse ourselves in nature, we can't help but marvel at its complexity and beauty. Expressing gratitude for these gifts fosters humility and reverence, grounding us in a sense of belonging to something larger than ourselves. For those seeking structured ways to practice gratitude, rituals can be incredibly effective. One popular tradition is keeping a gratitude jar. Each day, write down one thing you're grateful for on a slip of paper and place it in the jar. Over time, the jar fills with reminders of the good in your life, which you can revisit whenever you need a boost of positivity. Another ritual involves sharing gratitude during meals or gatherings. Going around the table and inviting everyone to name something they're thankful for creates a joyful, bonding experience that uplifts everyone involved. Mindfulness and gratitude go hand in hand, enhancing each other's effects. When we approach life mindfully, we naturally become more attuned to the present moment, where gratitude resides. Conversely, practicing gratitude heightens our mindfulness by encouraging us to notice and appreciate the details of our experience. Together, these practices create a virtuous cycle, amplifying their individual benefits and enriching our overall well-being. It's important to note that gratitude isn't about ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect. Life inevitably includes struggles, losses, and disappointments, and it's crucial to honor those feelings rather than suppress them. However, gratitude teaches us to hold space for both light and shadow, recognizing that they coexist. Even in the darkest moments, there are glimmers of hope and beauty, if we have the courage to look for them. This balanced perspective helps us navigate life's complexities with greater equanimity and wisdom. Incorporating gratitude into daily life requires intentionality, but doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start small by setting reminders to pause and reflect throughout your day. Maybe it's taking a moment to appreciate the warmth of sunlight on your face, the taste of your favorite snack, or the comfort of your bed at night. Gradually expand these moments, weaving gratitude into your routines and interactions. Over time, it becomes second nature, transforming how you perceive and engage with the world. Finally, remember that gratitude is a muscle that grows stronger with use. Like any skill, it takes practice to develop. Some days will feel easier than others, and that's perfectly normal. On difficult days, challenge yourself to find at least one thing to be grateful for, even if it's something as basic as having food to eat or a roof over your head. These tiny sparks of gratitude can ignite a flame of positivity, carrying you through challenging times. As we conclude this exploration of gratitude, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. Where do you notice opportunities to express gratitude for yourself, for others, and for the world around you? How might embracing gratitude help you cultivate resilience, joy, and connection amidst life's ups and downs? Remember, gratitude is a gift that keeps giving. By opening your heart to it, you not only enrich your own life, but also contribute to a kinder, more compassionate world. Chapter 7. Equanimity. Stay balanced amidst ups and downs. Our seventh teaching invites us to explore the profound practice of equanimity, a state of inner calm and balance that allows us to navigate life's inevitable highs and lows with grace and resilience. In Buddhism, equanimity, or upekkha, is considered one of the four divine abodes alongside loving kindness, compassion, and sympathetic joy. It represents the ability to remain centered and composed regardless of external circumstances. While it may sound idealistic, equanimity is not about detaching from life or suppressing emotions. Rather, it's about cultivating a spacious awareness that embraces all experiences without being overwhelmed by them. At its core, equanimity teaches us to respond to life's challenges, not react impulsively. Think about how often we're tossed around by our emotions, like leaves caught in a storm. A compliment lifts our spirits, while criticism sends us spiraling into self-doubt. Success fills us with pride, but failure leaves us crushed. These fluctuations reflect our attachment to outcomes and our tendency to identify with fleeting states of mind. Equanimity offers an alternative path, staying grounded in the face of change, maintaining perspective, and trusting that every experience is temporary. One of the most important aspects of equanimity is understanding its relationship with impermanence. If everything in life is constantly changing, then clinging to pleasure or resisting pain only amplifies suffering. Equanimity helps us accept this truth by reminding us that no emotion, situation, or sensation lasts forever. Just as clouds pass across the sky, so too do moments of joy and sorrow drift through our lives. By developing the capacity to witness these changes without resistance, we create space for peace to emerge, even amidst turmoil. Equanimity also requires discernment, the ability to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. So much of our stress comes from trying to manage things outside our influence, whether it's other people's opinions, random events, or the passage of time. When we focus on what's within our power, our thoughts, actions, and responses, we regain a sense of agency and stability. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or giving up on goals. Instead, it means approaching challenges with clarity and patience, knowing that some things unfold in their own time. A key component of equanimity is learning to observe emotions without becoming consumed by them. Imagine anger rising inside you during a heated argument. Without equanimity, you might lash out impulsively, escalating the conflict. With equanimity, however, you notice the anger without judgment, allowing it to exist without dictating your behavior. You might take a deep breath, step back momentarily, and choose a response that aligns with your values rather than your reactivity. This shift in approach transforms how you relate to difficult emotions, empowering you to act wisely rather than react blindly. Practicing equanimity begins with cultivating mindfulness. The more aware we are of our thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations, the better equipped we are to maintain balance. For example, when anxiety arises, mindfulness helps us recognize it as a passing phenomenon rather than an unshakable reality. We might label it silently, "This is anxiety," and bring our attention back to the present moment, perhaps focusing on the breath or grounding ourselves in sensory details. Over time, this practice strengthens our ability to stay centered even when faced with uncertainty or discomfort. Another powerful tool for fostering equanimity is reflection. Regularly taking stock of your life and experiences allows you to gain perspective on both successes and setbacks. Ask yourself, what lessons have I learned from past challenges? How have I grown stronger because of adversity? Reflecting on these questions reminds you that difficulties are opportunities for growth and that every experience contributes to your journey. This broader view helps soften the sharp edges of disappointment and frustration, making them easier to bear. Gratitude and compassion play essential roles in supporting equanimity. When we express gratitude for life's blessings, we counterbalance tendencies toward dissatisfaction or envy. Similarly, when we extend compassion to ourselves and others, we cultivate a sense of interconnectedness that transcends personal struggles. Together, these practices reinforce the foundation of equanimity, helping us stay steady in the face of life's unpredictability. Nature provides countless examples of equanimity in action. Consider the ocean. It remains vast and serene, regardless of whether the surface is calm or turbulent. Or think about mountains, standing tall and unwavering despite storms raging around them. These natural phenomena embody the essence of equanimity, steadfastness amidst change. Observing these qualities in nature inspires us to emulate them in our own lives, finding strength and stability within ourselves. Incorporating equanimity into daily life starts with small, consistent efforts. Throughout your day, look for opportunities to pause and check in with yourself. Are you feeling tense or scattered? Take a few deep breaths and reconnect with your body. Is someone pushing your buttons? Before responding, ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow, next week, or next year? Often, stepping back momentarily prevents unnecessary escalation and preserves harmony. Over time, these micro moments of equanimity accumulate, creating a reservoir of calm that sustains you through larger challenges. Mindful communication is another area where equanimity shines. Conversations can quickly devolve into arguments if we let emotions take over. Practicing equanimity means listening deeply, speaking thoughtfully, and choosing words that foster understanding rather than division. When someone expresses disagreement, instead of reacting defensively, try to see their perspective. Respond with curiosity and kindness, acknowledging their feelings while staying true to your own. This approach not only resolves conflicts more effectively, but also builds trust and mutual respect. Equanimity also intersects beautifully with non-judgment and compassion. By letting go of rigid expectations and embracing life as it unfolds, we reduce the friction caused by resistance. Similarly, extending compassion to ourselves and others softens the impact of challenging situations, reminding us that everyone is doing their best given their circumstances. Together, these teachings form a cohesive framework for navigating life with dignity and grace. Despite its many benefits, equanimity isn't always easy to cultivate. There will be days when staying balanced feels impossible, when emotions run high, deadlines loom, or unexpected obstacles arise. On those occasions, remember that equanimity is a practice, not a destination. Progress comes through persistence, not perfection. Celebrate moments of calm and resilience, no matter how fleeting they may seem. Each effort reinforces your capacity to remain steady in the face of turbulence. For those seeking structured ways to develop equanimity, meditation is an invaluable resource. Practices like breath awareness, body scans, and loving-kindness meditations help anchor you in the present moment, fostering a sense of inner stability. Visualization exercises can also be effective. For instance, imagining yourself as a mountain rooted firmly in the earth, watching clouds drift across the sky above. These techniques train your mind to stay centered even when external conditions shift. Finally, reflect on how equanimity shapes your perception of success and failure. Society often measures worth based on achievements, encouraging us to chase accolades and avoid mistakes at all costs. Equanimity challenges this paradigm by emphasizing process over outcome. Instead of fixating on results, focus on giving your best effort, staying present, and learning along the way. This mindset reduces pressure and increases enjoyment, allowing you to engage fully with whatever arises. As we conclude this exploration of equanimity, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. Where do you notice opportunities to cultivate balance and composure in your thoughts, emotions, relationships, or daily activities? How might embracing equanimity help you navigate challenges with greater clarity and ease? Remember, equanimity is not about avoiding life's storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. By committing to this practice, you open yourself to a deeper, more enduring sense of peace, one that endures through life's inevitable ups and downs. Chapter 8: Interconnectedness. Recognize your place in the web of life. Our eighth teaching invites us to explore one of the most profound truths of existence: interconnectedness. At its heart, interconnectedness is the understanding that nothing exists in isolation. All beings, objects, and phenomena are part of an intricate web of relationships. This principle lies at the foundation of Buddhist philosophy, as well as many other spiritual traditions and scientific disciplines. When we embrace interconnectedness, we move beyond the illusion of separateness and begin to see ourselves as threads woven into the fabric of life, a realization that fosters empathy, responsibility, and a deep sense of belonging. At first glance, the idea of interconnectedness might seem abstract or even overwhelming. After all, modern society often emphasizes individualism, competition, and self-reliance. We're encouraged to focus on personal success, accumulate possessions, and carve out our own paths without much regard for how those actions ripple outward. Yet, when we pause to examine the reality of our lives, it becomes clear that everything we do affects and is affected by the world around us. From the air we breathe to the food we eat, from the words we speak to the emotions we share, every action has consequences that extend far beyond our immediate awareness. Consider the natural world where interconnectedness is most visibly evident. Forests operate as complex systems, with trees communicating through underground networks of fungi, sharing nutrients and supporting one another's growth. Bees pollinate flowers, ensuring the survival of plants and ecosystems, while rivers nourish landscapes and sustain countless species. These examples remind us that no element functions independently. Each plays a vital role in maintaining balance and harmony. Disrupting one part of the system, whether through deforestation, pollution, or climate change, has cascading effects that reverberate throughout the entire web of life. The same principle applies to human communities. Our lives are deeply intertwined with those of others, whether we realize it or not. Think about the countless individuals whose labor contributes to your daily existence. The farmers who grow your food, the engineers who design your phone, the teachers who shaped your education. All of these people have played a role in creating the conditions that allow you to live as you do today. Even something as simple as turning on a light involves a vast network of cooperation, from the workers who maintain power grids to the scientists who developed electricity technology centuries ago. Recognizing this interdependence shifts our perspective, fostering gratitude and humility. Interconnectedness also extends to our emotional and social lives. Have you ever noticed how your mood can affect those around you? A kind word or smile brightens someone's day, while frustration or anger spreads tension like ripples in water. Emotions are contagious, influencing not only individuals but also groups and entire societies. Similarly, acts of kindness or harm create feedback loops that shape collective experiences. By acknowledging this shared emotional landscape, we become more mindful of how our actions impact others, inspiring us to act with greater care and compassion. One powerful way to cultivate awareness of interconnectedness is through mindfulness practice. As you sit quietly and observe your breath, notice how it connects you to the world. The air you inhale has traveled across continents, filtered through forests and oceans before reaching your lungs. With each exhale, you release carbon dioxide that feeds plants and sustains ecosystems. In this simple exchange, you participate in a cycle of reciprocity that spans millennia. Reflecting on this process reminds us that we're not isolated entities, but integral parts of a dynamic, living whole. Another avenue for exploring interconnectedness is through reflection on cause and effect, or karma in Buddhist terms. Every action we take leaves an imprint, shaping both our inner worlds and external circumstances. Positive actions generate harmony and goodwill, while harmful ones sow discord and suffering. Understanding this law of causality encourages us to make choices aligned with the greater good, knowing that what we put out into the world eventually returns to us in some form. This awareness transforms seemingly mundane decisions, what we buy, how we treat others, how we use resources, into opportunities to contribute positively to the collective well-being. Empathy naturally arises from recognizing interconnectedness. When we truly understand that everyone is navigating similar challenges, love, loss, joy, and sorrow, we develop a deeper appreciation for their struggles and triumphs. Instead of viewing others as competitors or adversaries, we see them as fellow travelers on the journey of life. This shift in perspective dissolves barriers, fostering compassion and solidarity. It invites us to step outside our comfort zones, offering support to those in need and standing up against injustice wherever it arises. Nature offers endless lessons in interconnectedness, inviting us to reconnect with the rhythms and cycles of the earth. Observing the changing seasons, for example, reveals how all forms of life adapt and evolve together. Spring's blossoms give way to summer's abundance, which transitions into autumn's harvest and winter's rest. Each phase depends on the others, forming a continuous loop of renewal and transformation. Participating consciously in these cycles through gardening, hiking, or simply spending time outdoors deepens our connection to the natural world and reinforces our place within it. For those seeking practical ways to embody interconnectedness, consider adopting habits that prioritize sustainability and community. Reducing waste, conserving energy, and choosing eco-friendly products demonstrate respect for the planet and its inhabitants. Volunteering, mentoring, or engaging in local initiatives strengthen bonds with neighbors and foster a spirit of collaboration. Even small gestures like smiling at strangers or expressing gratitude to service workers contribute to a culture of kindness and mutual support. Together, these efforts weave a tapestry of interconnectedness that benefits everyone involved. Mindfulness meditation provides another pathway for cultivating interconnectedness. Practices such as loving kindness, Metta meditation expand our circle of concern beyond ourselves, extending goodwill to loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even those with whom we disagree. Repeating phrases like, "May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease," softens our hearts, breaking down walls of separation and fostering a sense of universal kinship. Over time, this practice rewires our brains, making empathy and compassion second nature. Interconnectedness also teaches us to hold paradoxes lightly, to embrace both unity and diversity simultaneously. While we're all connected at a fundamental level, each person, creature, and ecosystem is uniquely valuable. Celebrating this diversity enriches the whole, just as different instruments combine to create a symphony. By honoring individuality alongside commonality, we strike a harmonious balance that honors the complexity of existence. Despite its beauty, embracing interconnectedness isn't always easy. It requires confronting uncomfortable truths about privilege, inequality, and environmental degradation. Acknowledging our complicity in systems of harm can feel daunting, but doing so is essential for healing and transformation. Rather than succumbing to guilt or despair, channel these insights into constructive action. Advocate for policies that promote justice and sustainability. Educate yourself and others about pressing issues. Use your voice and resources to amplify marginalized perspectives. Every effort counts, no matter how small it may seem. Finally, reflect on how interconnectedness shapes your sense of purpose and meaning. When we view ourselves as isolated individuals, life can feel random or meaningless. But when we recognize our role within a larger whole, we discover a profound sense of significance. Our joys and sorrows, triumphs and failures all contribute to the unfolding story of humanity and the earth. By aligning our intentions and actions with the greater good, we find fulfillment and peace, knowing that we're part of something infinitely greater than ourselves. As we conclude this exploration of interconnectedness, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. Where do you notice connections in your relationships, your environment, your daily activities? How might embracing interconnectedness inspire you to live with greater awareness, responsibility, and compassion? Remember, interconnectedness is not just a concept, it's a lived reality. By opening your heart to it, you step into a deeper relationship with yourself, others, and the world. A relationship rooted in love, reciprocity, and shared destiny. Chapter 9. Simplicity. Live with less to experience more. Our ninth teaching invites us to explore the transformative power of simplicity, a practice that encourages us to live with less in order to experience more. In a world often characterized by excess, busyness, and constant stimulation, simplicity offers a path back to what truly matters. By stripping away distractions and focusing on essentials, we create space for peace, joy, and fulfillment to flourish. This principle is deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of letting go of attachments, not only to material possessions, but also to unnecessary complexity in our thoughts, actions, and relationships. At its core, simplicity is about aligning your life with your values. It's easy to get caught up in societal pressures to accumulate wealth, status, and belongings, believing they will bring happiness. Yet research consistently shows that beyond meeting basic needs, increased material wealth has diminishing returns when it comes to well-being. True contentment arises not from having more, but from living authentically, with purpose, presence, and intentionality. Simplicity challenges us to ask, what do I really need? What brings me genuine satisfaction? And how can I design my life to reflect those priorities? One of the most visible aspects of simplicity is decluttering, both physically and mentally. Physical clutter creates chaos in our environments, making it harder to focus, relax, and feel at ease. Imagine walking into a room filled with piles of clothes, papers, and miscellaneous items versus stepping into a clean, organized space. The difference is palpable. Decluttering isn't just about tidying up, it's about creating an environment that supports clarity and calm. Start small, perhaps clearing out a drawer, organizing your workspace, or simplifying your digital files. As you let go of things you no longer use or need, you'll notice a sense of lightness spreading throughout your home and mind. Mental clutter, too, deserves attention. Our minds are often overloaded with information, tasks, and worries, leaving little room for creativity and rest. Practicing simplicity here involves setting boundaries around consumption, not just physical goods, but also media, news, and social interactions. Limit screen time, unsubscribe from unnecessary emails, and curate your social media feeds to include only what uplifts and inspires you. Similarly, simplify your schedule by saying no to commitments that drain your energy or don't align with your goals. Prioritize activities that nourish your soul, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or simply resting. Simplicity also extends to how we approach relationships. Meaningful connections thrive on quality over quantity. Instead of trying to maintain countless acquaintances or superficial friendships, focus on nurturing a few deep, supportive bonds. Be fully present during conversations, listening actively and offering heartfelt support. Let go of toxic dynamics that weigh you down, whether it's drama-filled friendships or one-sided partnerships. By simplifying your social circle, you create space for authentic connection and mutual growth. Another powerful aspect of simplicity is mindfulness in daily routines. So much of our lives are spent rushing from one task to another, rarely pausing to savor the moment. Simplicity invites us to slow down and appreciate the beauty in ordinary activities. Whether it's preparing a meal, taking a walk, or brushing your teeth, bring full awareness to each action. Notice the textures, sounds, and sensations involved. This shift transforms mundane tasks into moments of meditation, grounding you in the here and now. Nature provides endless inspiration for embracing simplicity. Observe the elegance of a single leaf, the stillness of a pond, or the vastness of an open sky. These elements remind us that beauty doesn't require ornamentation, it thrives in simplicity. Spending time outdoors helps recalibrate our perspective, encouraging us to adopt a slower, more deliberate pace. Even incorporating natural materials into your home, wood, stone, plants, can evoke a sense of groundedness and harmony. For those seeking structured ways to cultivate simplicity, minimalism offers practical tools and frameworks. Minimalism isn't about deprivation or austerity, it's about intentional living. Begin by identifying areas of excess in your life, whether it's clothing, gadgets, or obligations, and gradually pare them down. Keep only what serves a purpose or sparks joy, as Marie Kondo famously advises. Over time, this process becomes liberating, freeing you from the burden of maintaining unnecessary possessions and responsibilities. Mindfulness meditation complements simplicity beautifully, helping you develop awareness of what truly matters. During meditation, observe your thoughts without attachment, noticing which ones pull you toward complexity and distraction. Gently guide your attention back to the breath, anchoring yourself in the simplicity of the present moment. This practice trains your mind to resist overthinking and multitasking, fostering a state of calm focus that carries over into daily life. Simplicity also intersects with gratitude, amplifying its effects. When we live simply, we become more attuned to the abundance already present in our lives. A cozy blanket, a warm cup of tea, or a quiet evening alone take on deeper significance when viewed through the lens of sufficiency. Gratitude reinforces simplicity by reminding us that we already have enough, and that chasing more often leads to diminishing returns rather than lasting satisfaction. Environmental sustainability is another compelling reason to embrace simplicity. Consumer culture drives excessive production and waste, contributing to ecological degradation and climate change. By consuming less, reusing items, and choosing eco-friendly alternatives, we reduce our environmental footprint and honor our interconnectedness with the planet. Simple acts like carrying reusable bags, conserving water, or growing your own herbs demonstrate respect for Earth's resources while inspiring others to do the same. Simplicity isn't limited to external changes. It also involves cultivating inner simplicity. This means letting go of rigid expectations, perfectionism, and self-criticism. Accept yourself as you are, flaws and all, recognizing that growth happens gradually and imperfectly. Practice self-compassion by treating yourself with kindness and patience, especially during challenging times. Simplify your internal narrative by focusing on progress rather than perfection, celebrating small victories along the way. Despite its many benefits, embracing simplicity requires courage and discipline. It means resisting societal norms that equate success with accumulation and busyness. It also involves confronting fears of scarcity or inadequacy that may arise when letting go of familiar comforts. However, these challenges are opportunities for growth. Each step towards simplicity strengthens your resilience, clarity, and confidence, empowering you to live more authentically. Incorporating simplicity into daily life starts with small, consistent choices. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it add value to my life? Similarly, before committing to a new project or activity, consider whether it aligns with your priorities and passions. Gradually expand these practices, applying them to different areas of your life: finances, health, relationships, and personal development. Over time, simplicity becomes second nature, guiding your decisions with wisdom and grace. Finally, reflect on how simplicity shapes your sense of freedom and fulfillment. When we strip away distractions and focus on essentials, we discover a profound sense of liberation. We're no longer weighed down by obligations, possessions, or unrealistic standards. Instead, we create space for what truly matters: love, creativity, connection, and peace. This alignment fosters a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that we're living intentionally and authentically. As we conclude this exploration of simplicity, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. Where do you notice opportunities to simplify? In your surroundings, your routines, your relationships, or your mindset? How might embracing simplicity help you live with greater clarity, purpose, and joy? Remember, simplicity is not about sacrificing richness or depth. It's about creating space for what truly enriches your life. By committing to this practice, you open yourself to a deeper, more meaningful way of being, one rooted in authenticity, presence, and gratitude. Chapter 10, Loving Presence. Radiate peace wherever you go. Our 10th and final teaching invites us to explore the transformative power of loving presence, a state of being that radiates peace, kindness, and compassion wherever you go. Loving presence is more than just a mindset. It's an embodied way of moving through the world, rooted in mindfulness, empathy, and authenticity. It asks us to show up fully for ourselves and others, bringing warmth and openness to every interaction. By cultivating loving presence, we not only enrich our own lives, but also create ripples of positivity that touch everyone around us. At its essence, loving presence is about being fully here, mind, body, and heart. In a fast-paced, fragmented world, it's easy to feel scattered, disconnected, or preoccupied. We rush from one task to another, rarely pausing to check in with ourselves or truly connect with those around us. Loving presence counters this tendency by inviting us to slow down, breathe deeply, and engage with life from a place of calm awareness. It's about showing up, not just physically, but emotionally and energetically, as a steady, supportive force in every situation. One of the most profound aspects of loving presence is its ability to transform relationships. When we approach others with genuine care and attention, we foster trust, understanding, and mutual respect. Imagine walking into a room and greeting someone with a warm smile, making eye contact, and offering your full attention. This simple act communicates volumes. It says, "I see you, I value you, you matter." Whether it's a family member, friend, co-worker, or stranger, loving presence has the power to dissolve barriers and create moments of deep connection. Loving presence begins with self-awareness. Before we can extend kindness outwardly, we must first cultivate it inwardly. This means treating ourselves with the same gentleness and compassion we'd offer to a dear friend. When you notice critical thoughts arising about your appearance, abilities, or choices, pause and reframe them with loving language. For example, instead of saying, "I'm so clumsy," try, "I'm learning and that's okay." This shift in tone creates a foundation of self-love that naturally extends to others. Mindfulness meditation is a powerful tool for developing loving presence. During meditation, focus on cultivating feelings of warmth and kindness toward yourself and others. Visualize sending love to people in your life, starting with loved ones, then expanding to acquaintances, strangers, and even those with whom you have conflicts. Silently repeat phrases like, "May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease." Over time, this practice softens your heart, making it easier to embody loving presence in daily interactions. Another key element of loving presence is active listening. So often, we listen to respond rather than to understand, interrupting or planning our next words, while the other person is still speaking. Loving presence asks us to set aside distractions and truly hear what someone is saying, not just their words, but the emotions and intentions behind them. Lean in slightly, nod occasionally, and reflect back what you've heard to show you're engaged. This level of attentiveness validates the speaker's experience and strengthens your bond. Loving presence also involves setting healthy boundaries. While it's important to be available and supportive, it's equally crucial to honor your own needs and limits. Saying no when necessary doesn't diminish your capacity for loving presence, it enhances it. By taking care of yourself, you ensure that you have the energy and emotional bandwidth to give authentically to others. Boundaries are acts of self-respect that ultimately benefit everyone involved. Nature provides endless opportunities to practice loving presence. Spend time outdoors, immersing yourself in the sights, sounds, and sensations of the natural world. Feel the sun on your skin, listen to birdsong, or watch leaves rustle in the breeze. As you do, bring your full attention to the moment, letting go of worries or distractions. Nature responds to our presence with grace and beauty, reminding us of the interconnectedness of all life. These experiences deepen our sense of belonging and inspire us to carry that same reverence into our human interactions. For those seeking practical ways to embody loving presence, consider incorporating small rituals into your day. Start each morning with a few minutes of gratitude, reflecting on what you appreciate about your life. Throughout the day, pause periodically to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? What do you need right now? These moments of self-care prepare you to engage with others from a place of wholeness. Similarly, end each day by acknowledging acts of kindness you gave or received, reinforcing the habit of loving presence. Compassion plays a vital role in supporting loving presence. When we encounter suffering, whether in ourselves or others, compassion allows us to respond with tenderness and understanding. Instead of turning away or judging, we lean in with curiosity and care. Suppose a colleague seems unusually quiet during a meeting. Rather than assuming they're disengaged, you might gently ask if everything is okay. This gesture demonstrates empathy and creates space for vulnerability and healing. Gratitude amplifies the effects of loving presence by shifting our focus to the positive aspects of life. When we express appreciation for even the smallest blessings, a kind word, a shared laugh, a moment of stillness, we amplify their impact, creating a feedback loop of joy and connection. Gratitude reminds us that life is abundant, even amid challenges, and inspires us to share that abundance with others. Simplicity complements loving presence beautifully, helping us strip away distractions and focus on what truly matters. A clutter-free environment allows us to be more present, both with ourselves and with others. Similarly, simplifying our schedules gives us the time and energy needed to nurture meaningful relationships. When we let go of unnecessary complexity, we create space for love and connection to flourish. Despite its many rewards, practicing loving presence isn't always easy. There will be days when staying centered feels impossible, when emotions run high, deadlines loom, or unexpected obstacles arise. On those occasions, remember that loving presence is a practice, not a destination. Progress comes through persistence, not perfection. Celebrate moments of connection and kindness, no matter how fleeting they may seem. Each effort reinforces your capacity to radiate peace and positivity. For those seeking structured ways to develop loving presence, mindfulness exercises can be incredibly helpful. Practices like breath awareness, body scans, and loving kindness meditations train your mind to stay anchored in the present moment, fostering calm and clarity. Visualization techniques, such as imagining yourself surrounded by a sphere of golden light, can also enhance your sense of groundedness and warmth. These tools provide a solid foundation for embodying loving presence in everyday life. Finally, reflect on how loving presence shapes your sense of purpose and contribution. When we move through the world with kindness and intentionality, we become agents of change, spreading light in places that need it most. Every smile, every kind word, every act of service contributes to a culture of compassion and connection. By committing to this practice, you affirm your role as a force for good, a beacon of hope and healing in a sometimes chaotic world. As we conclude this exploration of loving presence, take a moment to reflect on how this teaching resonates with your own life. Where do you notice opportunities to embody loving presence in your thoughts, actions, relationships, or daily routines? How might embracing loving presence help you navigate challenges with greater grace and resilience? Remember, loving presence is not about achieving some ideal state. It's about showing up, moment by moment, with an open heart and a willingness to connect. By committing to this practice, you open yourself to a deeper, more fulfilling way of being, one rooted in love, presence, and interconnectedness. And so, dear friend, we come to the end of our journey together, a journey through 10 profound Buddhist teachings that invite us to embrace life as it is, with all its beauty, challenges, and infinite possibilities. From impermanence to loving presence, each teaching has offered a thread in the tapestry of wisdom, guiding us toward greater clarity, acceptance, and inner freedom. As we bring this exploration to a close, I want to take a moment to reflect on the transformative potential of these principles, not just as abstract ideas, but as practical tools you can weave into the fabric of your daily life. If there's one thing I hope you carry forward from this video, it's this: life doesn't have to be perfect for it to be meaningful. In fact, it's often within the cracks, the moments of uncertainty, loss, or struggle, that the light shines brightest. These teachings remind us that every experience, no matter how challenging, holds an opportunity for growth, learning, and connection. By embracing impermanence, letting go of what no longer serves us, practicing non-judgment, extending compassion, staying present, cultivating gratitude, finding balance, recognizing interconnectedness, simplifying our lives, and radiating loving presence, we create space for joy and peace to emerge naturally. It's important to remember that transformation takes time. You don't have to master all of these teachings overnight, or ever fully master them at all. Growth is a lifelong process, and each step you take toward mindfulness and acceptance brings you closer to living authentically and fully. Start small. Perhaps today you focus on noticing one moment of gratitude. Tomorrow, you might practice observing your thoughts without judgment. Over time, these small acts accumulate, shaping your mindset and enriching your experience of life. I also want to acknowledge that this path isn't always easy. There will be days when resistance feels stronger than acceptance, when fear outweighs courage, or when busyness crowds out presence. On those days, be gentle with yourself. Remember that progress isn't linear, and setbacks are part of the journey. What matters most is your willingness to keep showing up, to meet life with curiosity, kindness, and an open heart. As you move forward, I encourage you to revisit these teachings whenever you need guidance or inspiration. They're not confined to this video, they're timeless truths that can support you throughout your life. Whether you're navigating a major transition, seeking solace in difficult times, or simply looking to deepen your mindfulness practice, these principles will continue to serve as anchors, grounding you in the present moment and reminding you of your inherent capacity for resilience and compassion. Before we part ways, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude for joining me on this exploration. Your presence here, your willingness to engage with these ideas and reflect on how they might apply to your life, is a testament to your commitment to growth and well-being. If you found value in this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with others who might benefit. The Mindful Zone exists to nurture awareness, connection, and peace, and your support helps spread these teachings to those who need them most. Finally, as you step away from this video and back into the flow of your day, I invite you to carry one intention with you: to live mindfully, moment by moment. Notice the rhythm of your breath, the sensations in your body, the sounds around you. Feel the ground beneath your feet and the vast sky above you. Trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. And know that no matter what arises, you have the tools to meet it with grace and wisdom. Thank you for being here, for listening, reflecting, and opening your heart to the possibilities of mindful living. Until next time, may you walk gently upon the earth, may you savor the richness of each passing moment, and may you radiate peace wherever you go. Namaste.